Yeah, need a break, I think. Hopefully-
Morning. Welcome to the February 14th meeting of 2024, the Daviess County Council. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and for all.
Let the record show that all council members are present with the exception of Darren Holder, who's actually got a knee replacement Monday. So he's recovering. He wasn't doing very well last evening, so he said he would not be here today. Ooh. Okay, first order of business is the meeting minutes. They're in our packet. They were sent also electronically. Have everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Minor changes that I'm gonna show her.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to accept the meetings with minor alterations by Grant.
Second.
Okay, second by Mike Sprinkle. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we have some salary ordinance amendments. The first one is for adult protective services. The amount is, I think, $3,000. And it was in the form of a bonus. These are the budgets that are adopted before we actually get a chance to review them. And I don't know, I would like to actually ask a question about, is it for longevity bonuses or is it a bonus? I'm not really certain. We hadn't had it in 2 years. So I'm really questioning what we need to do on it. Any comments or suggestions from the council?
Would you want to table it till we get more info, or?
Wasn't spent in '23.
It wasn't in 22 either, I don't think. It's for longevity, I'm okay with it. But if it's some other type of bonus, I'm not. But
If we have, I think for clarification's sake, I make a motion to table until we have more.
they wanted to backdate it actually till February 9th, so I guess we could backdate it after we get some clarification. Okay, so,
I'll second that motion.
okay, Matt made the motion that we table it. It was seconded by Tony. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried 6-0. So we would like her at the next meeting to explain. You want pardon? Okay. Thank you. Okay, the other salary ordinance amendment is a request by the maintenance department. I think it was for 400, was it?
$400.
Okay, so what happened there was they submitted their budget, had the longevity in there. He neglected to increase it by $100 for each of the associates, and that's basically what they're requesting.
So moved.
Moved by Tony, second by Marilyn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? 6-0. Okay, Sheriff Allison, please.
Morning.
Good morning.
The annual report, Sheriff's Office received 6,823 CAD calls last year. We investigated 485 crashes. We had 4 fatalities in the county at the Sheriff's Office last year. We served 2,306 sets of civil process, 733 warrants, and sheriff sales. I'm now down to the jail.
Any trends or anything you want to make us aware of?
Not that I can discern from those that information there.
Judge Murray mentioned to me that he felt like the transport mileage was going to go down from some new technology they were going to start using. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, that will. I wouldn't look for it right away,
because there's certain cases that Judge Murray can't hear and Judge Sabecki's still gonna have to hear. And even Judge Weichert, will have to hear some of those, so, once that caseload gets dispelled, amazingly, there's a lot of people that are signing up and letting Dan be their judge, so that'll save some
Okay.
time and gas and manpower hours there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Good.
Last year we booked in 1,059 people. That trend is down. So our average daily population was 151, and that trend was up a little. And you got your marital status and your age groups. Felony arrest, misdemeanor bookings, no fatalities in 23, no escapes. We served 177,187 meals last year. We still do a lot of the jail programming over there with RARE. And of course, we've added IRACs to that. Purdue still comes in and teaches life skills and stuff along those lines. RARE still does their stuff. We had 685 transports for a total of 40,500 miles. Now, we're not gonna get rid of all of our transports, right? I mean, if someone's arrested in Indy, then we gotta go get them. If they're arrested in Kentucky, like Joe Smith was, we gotta go get them. So there's some things. Southwest Regional Youth Village is shutting down, and they hold our juveniles. The sheriff of Knox County has asked several of the surrounding counties if there'd be any interest in purchasing that and running it on our own. It's 9.9 million.
So,
Know where that's go or be, but the easy fix right now is we gotta take them to Johnson County, up to Franklin. That's the next closest. So, you know, we get rid of one problem and get another.
great enough.
So, of course, our road crew's been out a lot. They worked real hard on the courthouse, getting it removed from over there and moved over to here. And we have two, we have a male and a female road crew. We didn't hold many for out of county last year. Most of the places have caught up. And that's about it. Any other questions?
Not necessarily a question, but yesterday at the commissioners meeting, they did recognize four. I didn't get all their names, but there was four individuals recognized that work on the road crew. Maybe you.
Yep. Not names.
Okay.
Must have wrote down here. I'm pretty bad with names anymore. So, but they enjoyed doing what they do.
I actually have them, I think. Bradley Ford, Christopher Hupp, Joshua Hassler,
Yep, Josh Hassler. Yeah,
and Nicholas Dam.
yeah, Nick.
Okay, how about that? That was just happened to sit here.
Good job.
They like to give back. They really do. They know. Yep. I think I'm done with that one. Ready to
Okay.
Move on to commissary.
Sure.
Any other questions, I guess, before we?
You don't have to take any action on that, I guess, okay.
And this is the commissary fund that I'm required by law to let you look at twice every year. When I took this over, there was 10,000 in it, so kind of happy with how we're working on that.
And it has to be hand ledgered.
Pardon?
This has to be like hand ledgered.
That's the way my guy wants to do it.
No, that's fine. No, I just,
Yeah. Yeah, probably once we run out of whatever we purchased, we'll
Right.
figure out a different way to do it. It's like,
If it's not broke.
I got a stack of checks that, most checks now you can take a picture of.
Yeah.
I take them to the bank and I can't do them with those. Well, I'm not gonna go buy new checks for this, so we'll just have to get through it.
Any questions, comments? Issues?
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
And I believe Vanessa's gonna wanna table hers as well. IRACs.
Since it's on the agenda, I'll make just a little comment because I attended the commissioners' meeting. So JRAC stands for Justice Recovery Advisory Council. And majority of the counties, I guess, have this. And their main purpose, I think, is to utilize the funds from the opioid settlement. For the state.
They've been around for a while. They've been put in the law. Every county has one.
Did we have one before?
Yes,
Okay,
2021.
right. And they've never really been active.
okay,
Kind of been okay, here's your board type. It works real close with community corrections.
okay.
So usually the people that's on the community corrections board is also on the JRAC.
And Laura Petty was here yesterday with Vanessa Phillips. And they reviewed what they were trying to do, I think it was a total of 40,000 in funds. They estimated 10,000 like non-restricted and 30,000 restricted, I think was the thing. Anyhow, they came before the commissioners and it didn't go all that great. Nathan had a lot of questions for him. They didn't have all the answers I think that he wanted. And they decided to table that. And so that's why she's not here today.
Okay.
So in a future meeting, I'm sure they'll try to get back on the agenda for us.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, does that bring us to additional appropriations? Ready for those? Okay, so we have several on there today. Most of them the majority of them are for funding the renovation of the courthouse. And I'm not sure how you guys want to, or how y'all want to handle that. I thought maybe we just go through one section at a time. Sound all right? Okay, so the first appropriation will be from the general fund. And you can see the list of expenses there, projected expenses for $5,998,000. And that will all go to the renovation of the courthouse. There's a certain fund number for that. I can't remember what it is, but. Okay. And yeah, they're all basically going to be the same. But so what is your, any comments, questions on that first one?
We're really not spending it. We're moving it out of the,
Into the renovation.
Yeah.
It will be spent though.
Yes.
704.
putting it there where then they can pay the bills.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve that renovation section.
Okay, motion made to move from the general to the renovation of the courthouse, the amount of $5,998,000. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike Myers. All those in favor? Signify saying aye. Anyone opposed? Carried. Okay, the next one actually is not involving the courthouse. It's for registration of voters. It was submitted by Lauren Milton, and it's for election kits. Now, this is a grant, but we have to spend the money and then we're reimbursed for it. The amount of $6,446.
Move to approve.
Moved by Mike Sprinkle. Is there a second? Second by Marilyn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So. Okay, the next one is moving from the rainy day appropriation, moving from the rainy day fund into the courthouse remodel, amount of $850,000.
Edit.
Edit.
I'm sorry, I missed one. Edit for $876,000.
Make that motion.
By Tony. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Matt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Sorry about that. Okay, the next appropriation will be from the rainy day fund, for the courthouse remodel, $850,000. Motion by Marilyn, second by
Second.
Mike Myers. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, appropriation from the Cume Cap Fund in the amount of $1 million to the courthouse renovation project.
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, second was Mike Sprinkle. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. The next order of business on there, appropriation for Daviess County Courthouse renovation bond. That's for the $5 million.
So moved.
By Tony, second. By
Second.
Sprinkle. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carried. So the total for the appropriations today was $13,730,446. Of that amount, $6,446 was for registration of voters. All the rest was for the courthouse renovation project. Okay, we have any transfers today? No transfers. Okay, some information. Davies Martin Joint Parks and Recreation Board. I do have a little update on the bogs. At the meeting yesterday, is it Nathan? Nathan came and said that they were doing a couple, what was that?
Nathan
Rim,
From
okay,
Boggs.
yeah.
Not to get confused.
He came to the meeting and talked about a couple grants that they had applied for. One was an 80-20 grant. It was going to be for sediment basins, enzyme treatment, because phosphorus is their big problem up there. That would cost the group there about $65,000, and they would get about $260,000. They thought they had a pretty good chance of getting that one. They also applied for the Ready Grant. It was a giant amount, like $11 million they applied for, which would be a large percentage of that total fund. But that was for dredging of those basins that they talked about before, sediment basins, and help get the algae problem under control. So they're moving forward with those two things. Hopefully they'll get some funding. I don't think they'll know till like July on that one. I think it's going to be later this summer.
Ready 2.0 is,
March.
I've heard March to April.
That's what I've heard too.
He was kind of iffy on whether the money would arrive, but they would get the money in time to do anything this season.
I gotcha, right. Sense.
Okay. Airport, Daviess County Airport. Matt, do you have anything to report on that? Did you have a board meeting recently, or?
There was a meeting that they did not have a quorum for, so there's no additional that I know of.
Okay.
That was last week.
I think they did do the leasing of the ground, I think, or,
They do have an agreement that they were gonna finalize with the foundation on that hangar, and they're rewriting lease and stuff for the rest of the tenants and things going forward, but no meeting to approve.
okay. Okay, there was also an IDEM notice. I actually I reviewed that, but I don't remember exactly what that was for. Let me look here real quick. I haven't found it and can't tell you what it's for.
Rear eggs.
It's
Dog.
Yeah, it
permit
was
for-
some
right.
fertilizer thing, wasn't it? I can't remember. We don't have to take any action on that, I don't believe anyhow, do we? Okay.
It wasn't on the agenda, but if I could, we just need to make that executive session statement. Get an executive session after the January meeting.
Yeah, it's working, I think.
We had an executive session after the January meeting. The only thing that was discussed in that meeting is that which was advertised. And if you have any questions, let me know. I do have two other things, but I'll let you guys finish. Sorry.
I think we're good. The only other thing on there is Daviess County Hospital Finance Committee. You guys have any comments on that, or? Okay. Grant?
Okay, there was an additional appropriation that was requested. Jen called me late January, and so two times that Jen called me that I'm going to talk about anytime she calls. Important, so. I just want to confirm that the additional appropriation.
Lost you.
That additional appropriation was removed, which is tremendous. I guess just in follow-up, I would ask maybe Tom, if you would, continue to monitor that and just stay in touch with Circuit Court so that they feel comfortable and we don't kind of get sideways again relative to that request.
I think it's a good suggestion. He has reached out, Doug Smith has reached out to Tony and I and made a proposal for, in the future, how he would like to be involved in the process. So we'll obviously pass that along to the compensation committee and go from there.
Yeah. I really appreciated you guys, your focus on that and just the teamwork. I mean, we got it done very quickly and appropriately, so thank you. Number two, there was, Jen called about there were a handful of tax appeals, property tax appeals, that were being paid out of the general fund. And I guess I wanted to bring that to your attention and ask if someone could assist and put some eyes on that from the council side. It was on the docket yesterday, and there were some questions to the assessor about it, but we haven't fully figured out why those over assessments happened and why we are now paying back to a couple of taxpayers. But you know, we've got a new assessor, and there's going to be some changes. But I would like to have at least one person from the council to assist me in looking at that information and perhaps liaising with the assessor's office, potentially with the PETA BOA, and just making sure that we don't run into this again. We don't want to take hits to the general fund, and that's what this is.
What kind of checks and balances are in place now?
The assessor assesses, PETA BOA reviews appeals. If the taxpayer doesn't like the answer, they can take it up to what's called the IBTR. IBTR is the Board of Tax Review, Indiana Board of Tax Review, I believe. So there are checks and balances in place. I'm not exactly sure what played out and why there's a request to reimburse this particular, a couple of taxpayers. There's 3 of them. It was on the docket yesterday, but even before that, Jen had called me and just asked me about it and was telling me about it. And I was like, I don't really know anything about it. So I'm just asking if someone will assist me so that we don't have that issue again. It was approximately, Jen's not here. I don't know if one of you could clarify. There were 3 items, and I think they were different situations, but it was approximately $84,000 coming out of the general fund. Is that correct, Carmen or stuff? One was 66, and then there was a couple more. But whatever the amount was, there were 3 of them. So I guess
what you're saying is they went through the process, went to this tax review board or whatever you're saying. We lost, or the county lost, and we had to reimburse them their taxes that they had paid.
I am saying that we are apparently reimbursing them, but I don't know what process it went So I'm asking for one of you all. As
Yeah, because none of us approved that, right? I mean, we never came before the council.
Well, it was news to me when Jen called me, and I was like, that's odd. But I just think
I
that,
think-
so that we don't have this reoccurring, we evaluate.
Grant, Tony and I will take that as a team.
Okay.
That way, it's not all on one, but Tony and I will help you with that process.
Sounds great. I just wanted some assistance. I don't want it to be we just don't want to deplete the general fund. We want to know what happened so that doesn't perhaps continue happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah, do we know if there's more out there that are going through the process?
I don't know. I learned at the PETA-BOA training that there was a single hearing last year. One PETA-BOA hearing, supposedly. So I don't know which one that was. I don't know what happened. I don't know if these particular ones went through that process or if it was because it is possible that a taxpayer could simply go to the assessor and they're like, oh yeah, that's wrong. My apologies. We thought it was a 2,000 square foot house, but actually it was 1,000 square feet. We did something, whatever the case may be. Mistakes happen. I anticipate that we'll have quite a few more appeals this year, but they may get handled without PETA-BOA meeting. I know in Knox County, there were 500 appeals, which was like an increase, so this in 23, which was an increase of like times 10 or 20 or something. I mean, it was a significant increase for whatever reason. So we don't want that. This is not necessarily your function, but as the fiscal body, I just think it's important that people pay attention to it, so that it's not like this, it's just like this, right?
What do you anticipate that many more appeals this year?
I don't really know. I've had a lot of people ask me about it.
Well, I think they did all the personal ones this year, right? The residential stuff.
Yeah.
Next year's like this year's businesses, I think.
So I know yesterday the commissioners approved Form 11s going out to people, which is just their assessment for it would be really, I think they do it always in January. Yes, Carmen? Okay, so Form 11s will go out, people will know what their assessment is, and there will probably be, interest, right? So I just want someone, and I appreciate if you two are the ones that are going to assist on that. We want it to be steady, stable, it needs to make sense, and so we don't have a lot of angry people and depletion of general fund that we thought was there. So that's my request.
I think property taxes, they went up last year and they go up. It's about a 2-year cycle from like inflation. All that high inflation caused the replacement value for homes and so forth to go up. About a 2-year lag time where property taxes will go up, and then on the backside of inflation, if it starts going down, you hope taxes will start backing off some. But I would think as your property taxes raise, people said about it, they might find it appeal.
Well, their assessed value went up.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone's alarmed at that because then they feel like their taxes are gonna go up, but actually, the rate actually came down on the tax rate itself. So we'll just have to see. When I talked to her, was it Crystal? She said that they were trying to get the residential homes within 90% of the state value that they gave it or whatever. It might not make much sense, but it was gonna be a significant increase for most people on their assessed valuation of their property.
We'll let you know.
That was actually done last year, though.
Yeah, it's not really a cause for alarm, it's just something I think this council needs to pay attention to.
Okay.
So,
Thank you, Grant.
thank you.
Okay, so for Grant's recommendation, we have Matt and Tony gonna work with him in a role that a liaison, was that what the term you used with the, liaison? Okay. Between the assessor's office and the auditor's office, I guess. Okay, any other business today? Yeah, any comments from the public? I would entertain a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Moved by Matt,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor? Aye. 6-0.